Ankylodocus. Myth. The scariest hybrid is always the one with teeth. Reality. The scariest hybrid on this list has none. Ankylodocus fuses Ankylosaurus with Diplodocus, a 28-meter wall of muscle with a spiked armored tail dragging behind a sauropod's neck. Dr. Wu engineered it purely as a spectacle animal. No weaponization, no military funding. It's never appeared in a single film. It only exists in the Jurassic World Evolution games, and that's the point. InGen wasn't just building weapons, they were building billboards. Strangely, it barely fights back when attacked. True to its Diplodocus side, it would rather outlast a threat than confront one. Picture something the length of 3 school buses, armored like a tank, and so calm it makes every predator on this list look insecure by comparison. Stat sheet: length 28 meters, weight multiple tons of pure defense, threat level to humans almost 0, threat level to your imagination massive. Stegoceratops, this one almost made it into Jurassic World. Pause the footage where Vic Hoskins shows the kids Wu's hybrid concepts, and you'll catch it on screen. A Stegosaurus skull fused with Triceratops horns. Stegoceratops, armor plates running down its spine, 3 horns reinforced with beetle DNA for extra toughness. It was designed, storyboarded, then cut so the Indominus Rex could be the franchise's first hybrid reveal. Triceratops' parents are famously protective of their young in the real fossil record, and Wu's own concept notes hint Stegoceratops would have inherited that exact same instinct. So somewhere in an alternate cut of this franchise, there's a version where the most dangerous animal in the park is a horned herbivore defending its herd. Stat sheet: 12 meters long, 4 tons, herbivore, 0 recorded kills, because it never got the chance to exist outside a hard drive. Spinoraptor? Hollywood never touched this one either. Spinoraptor splices Spinosaurus, the only dinosaur ever shown beating a T-Rex on screen, with velociraptor speed and pack intelligence. 6 meters, 800 kilograms, 20 centimeter claws, and a temperament described in InGen's own files as notably aggressive. Wu built it the same way he built everything. Take the biggest predator nature ever produced, then make it faster. The only reason you've never seen it chase anyone in a theater is timing. Spinoraptor lives exclusively in the Jurassic World Evolution games, a hybrid built for spreadsheets, not screenplays. Scorpios Rex. Myth. Indominus Rex was InGen's first hybrid. Reality, it wasn't even close. Years before Jurassic World opened, Wu was already splicing Carnotaurus, Velociraptor, and T-Rex DNA with tree frog, pit viper, and scorpionfish genes, and the result was so unstable, so genuinely hideous, that Masrani had it frozen and hidden instead of displayed. Codename E75. Oh, venomous detachable spines. And here's the part that breaks the franchise's internal logic. It had no mate, no partner, nothing, and it still reproduced. Tree frog DNA carries a real biological trick called parthenogenesis, asexual reproduction documented in actual amphibians. Crichton's science fiction loophole from 1993 just came back to bite Camp Cretaceous 30 years later. 2 of them ended up fighting Blue the Velociraptor at the old Jurassic Park Visitor Center, and both were ultimately crushed under a collapsing roof, not killed by claws or teeth, which makes Scorpios Rex the only confirmed hybrid in the entire franchise that never killed a single human, just every dinosaur unlucky enough to cross its path. Mutadons. Every hybrid on this list walks. Mutadons fly. InGen spliced Velociraptor with Pteranodon and got a raptor with functional wings, fast enough to outrun prey on the ground and able to lift off the second that prey starts running the wrong way. They were a failed prototype, abandoned on Ile Saint-Hubert for 17 years before Jurassic World. Rebirth dragged them back into daylight. Stat sheet: pack hunters, nighttime ambush specialists, strong enough to carry a velociraptor-sized kill straight into the air, with a flight speed estimated near 60 miles per hour. The scariest part isn't the wings. It's that nobody at InGen meant to build them this way. They just never bothered to clean up the failure. 17 years of breeding in the wild, and the franchise still pretends regular dinosaurs are the bigger threat. Distortus Rex. This is the hybrid InGen never wanted you to meet. designation D-REXV.23.111. Attempt number 26 in a program that should have stopped at attempt 1, according to the film's own screenwriter. 6 limbs, 2 gorilla-sized arms grafted onto a mutated Tyrannosaurus frame, plus the original pair tucked uselessly underneath, and a skull so distorted the design team has openly compared it to the alien xenomorph crossed with Star Wars Rancor. It never killed for sport like Indominus Rex did. It just survived, quietly, for 17 years inside an abandoned research site, blending into the local ecosystem like any other apex predator, until a careless scientist dropped a candy wrapper into a ventilation system and jammed a containment door open. One wrapper, one distracted technician. That's the entire origin story of one of the most dangerous animals in the franchise, and it's real, in canon, confirmed by the film's own writers. Stat sheet: Kaiju scale, 6 limbs, 1 chocolate bar's worth of human error. Indoraptor. Myth: Indoraptor is just a smaller Indominus Rex. Reality: it's something far more deliberate. After the original hybrid died, Wu didn't start over. He took a literal bone fragment from its corpse and spliced it with a heavier dose of Velociraptor DNA, building a weapon designed for a private military buyer instead of a theme park. Smaller, smarter. Built to take commands from a human handler using Blue the Velociraptor as a future surrogate mother for the next generation. Except this prototype never learned obedience, which is exactly why it ended up hunting its own creators through Lockwood Manor instead of taking orders from them. Fans haven't let go of one detail either. The visual nods to Frankenstein, Nosferatu, and the Wolfman are too specific to be accidental, fueling a long-running theory that human DNA quietly filled in the gaps. Stat sheet: roughly 10 feet tall, 3/4 the size of Indominus Rex, raptor claws on full display, a hybrid built from a hybrid, with a DNA recipe nobody, not even Wu, fully admits to. Indominus Rex. And here's the one that started it all. Myth: it's just a bigger T-Rex with a name that sounds tougher. Reality: it's 9 different animals wearing one skeleton. Tyrannosaurus Rex for the base genome. Velociraptor for problem-solving intelligence, the same trait that let it later outthink an entire raptor pack. Giganotosaurus for raw size, big enough to be confirmed larger than a fully grown T-Rex. Carnotaurus, Majungasaurus, and Rugops for bony, armor-like osteoderms that shrugged off bite damage. Therizinosaurus for the slashing forelimb claws. Deinosuchus for crocodilian bite force. Then the finishing touches: cuttlefish DNA for active camouflage through shifting skin pigmentation, tree frog DNA to dodge thermal cameras by regulating its own body heat, and pit viper DNA for infrared vision that let it hunt humans by their heat signature alone. It was built for one reason: to save a struggling theme park's ticket sales. It repaid that investment by cannibalizing its own sibling in the paddock, then escaping using the exact blind spots its own designers had engineered into its enclosure. Rexy, an entire raptor pack and a Mosasaurus barely brought it down together, and even then, it didn't die on screen. It sank. Stat sheet: roughly 50 feet long, 9 genomes, 0 natural predators. 8 hybrids, 1 geneticist, 0 lessons learned. From a rapper jamming event to 9 genomes stitched into a single predator, InGen never stopped proving the same point. Every time they built something to control nature, nature found a way to make it worse for them. Which one of these would you actually want walking around a real park? Tell me in the comments. And if you want the full breakdown of every dinosaur Jurassic Park got factually wrong, that video's linked right here.